Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver
Hey guys,
now.
Dick with roadtoroad.com. It is knee deep in the hoopla when it comes to silver. For private road members, yesterday I posted a discussion on why silver won't go down much before the massive moonshot that clears price riggers. The short position's still there. They can't get out of it. And what are you going to do? How are you going to undo something that, what is it? Who let the cat out of the box? The cat's running around like a wild cat, like wild cats do. You can't put it back in the box. Sorry. I'm sorry, all you analysts in silver who say, well, we've hit the double cross the overage on the XYZ factor. It's going to have to fall down to $33 before we move back up, and such a bunch of shit. Oh my God. So yeah, go check that out if you're on the private road. If you're not, here's some really exciting news. We all heard about the little problem that the COMEX had on Thanksgiving night. Shut down the exchange, there's overheating of blah, blah, blah. Nobody is talking about what happened just 2 days before. And let me tell you what happened. So this is all planned, by the way. In case you didn't know it, your whole life is planned. But this is all planned. The CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, that has no commissioners right now, just one acting, who's already said she's quitting. Caroline Pham is the acting commissioner, already said she's quitting. There's not much this entity should be doing at all with nobody there. Released a massive decision just on Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Acting chairman, Pham, she, by the way, comes from Citibank, who is probably in the deepest shit right now. They've been the long-standing derivative short on SLV. Yes, that crazy ETF that claims to have 500 million ounces of physical silver. It's all rehypothecated. And if you didn't know that, here we go. Acting Chairman Pham announced CFTC interpretation to unlock over $22 billion of collateral and promote American competitiveness. Oh, it's got to be in competitiveness, right? The Commodities Futures Trading Commission acting commissioners, Caroline Pham, announced that the CFTC's Market Participants Division today published an interpretation to clarify the circumstances under which a futures commission merchant, an FCM, basically JP Morgan, may post customer-owned securities and securities purchased with customer funds with foreign brokers and foreign clearing organizations to margin customers' foreign futures and foreign options positions in compliance with Part 30 of the CFTC. What does that mean? It means the 400 million or so ounces of SLV being held in London for the supposed U.S. ETF, SLV, iShares SLV, it cannot be fully rehypothecated. This is insane. As part of the administration's commitment to promote American competitiveness and reduce unnecessary regulatory costs, I am pleased to announce that the CFTC today addressed long-standing issues that have disadvantaged U.S. customers, basically JP Morgan, that access foreign futures markets, said Acting Chairman Pham. The commodity derivatives market is global, and American businesses should be able to hedge their risks overseas without being penalized. This is another holy shit moment. A lot of people were wondering, well, why isn't the CFTC and the COMEX just shutting down the silver market like they did with the Hunt brothers? Why aren't they doing that? Or why aren't they doing what they did in 2011 when JP Morgan ran the show through Bill Daley as Obama's chief of staff? Let the price of silver run up to $50 and then slam it down and then get Bill Daley out of there the next year when it's back down to $20. This is insane, but this is why I've been screaming for so long. That they can click a mouse and put the price of silver to minus $40 like they did with oil. They can do anything they frickin' want. They can flood one of the most important vault on planet Earth that held $36 trillion in derivatives. They can steer a hurricane right there, Hurricane Sandy, and completely flood 55 Water Street, which holds all the DTCC paper shit that was supposed to be held securities. Think of like old bond coupons and things like that, all flooded, and then they burned it after it flooded. I'm talking to Sean at SGT Report today. We're going to go over all this stuff. But there you go. There you go. I mean, what does this tell us? It tells us that at the point in time, JP Morgan Chase, the largest derivative holder on the planet, the largest silver controller on the planet, had to make sure that them dipping into SLV's inventories in London, all 400 million ounces worth, is legal. And it means they had no other choice. So now, headlines read, JP Morgan mobilizes SLV silver. It's right here. They say it right here. I'm going to read it again because it's important. They are clarifying the circumstances under which a futures commission merchant, which is JP Morgan, and others, but mainly JP Morgan, may post customer-owned securities and securities purchased with customer funds with foreign brokers and foreign clearing organizations to margin customers' foreign futures and foreign options position in compliance with blah, blah, blah regulation. That's exactly what it says. They opened up $22 billion worth of availability of silver. And gold. This isn't just silver, but the fact that it happened 2 days before they shut down that, or they turned off the little air conditioner, the little fan that blows around, they turned it off and said, oh, the markets are experiencing technical difficulties because of our server farm. Such bullshit. It's not, this isn't even the biggest thing. I mean, everything screams, you better have your metal in your own possession. Because I don't know if they're going to put the price of silver at $1 million or if they're going to put the price of silver at minus $40. You can't look at price. Price is a fraud. You can look at gold-silver ratio, which still is at, 75 to 1? It's going 1 to 1 easy, and then I'll flip the other way. Why? Because there's no silver left. They had to go to the regulator and say, we're already skirting the boundaries of what's happening. We need the legal authority to go into SLV and mobilize the 400 million ounces that are currently held by BlackRock. Who do you think the JP Morgan customer account is that every month buys and sells? BlackRock's a massive part of that. Anyway, more interesting news. Did you know that this year, 2025, we are going to have, or we already have, by a long shot, the largest silver delivery month on the COMEX, or year on the COMEX ever, by far. Last year was pretty damn big. It doubled everything else. Last year was 290 million ounces was delivered. Year before, 151 million ounces. We have literally gone into the insanity case of the delivery of physical metal is going to break the back of the banking cabal, which means the entire global financial system, by the way. There's nothing in the system you should have right now. I can't give you anything. If you don't hold it in your own possession, and this means cryptos too. I mean, Coinbase is going to go down. Kraken's going to go down. All of these exchanges are going to go down with the old system. The Trump administration has made sure of that. Everything gets destroyed. What can you do? Get assets in your own possession. If you own mining shares, you're going to lose. They will all easily be nationalized. Would you just think, the banking system falls apart, and Mexico says, oh my God, we're the largest silver mining country in the world, but all our mines are owned by rich people in America who bought the shares. They're going to go, boom. No. There's no mine that's going to survive this unless you own it personally and you control it personally, and it's not on the stock exchanges. Stock exchange is going down. I told the private road members this. I'm telling you right now. Europe just approved Reggie Middleton's patent for DeFi. and securitization of assets using crypto. Nice timing, Europe. So now Reggie has the US, Japan, and Europe all fully patented. Sorry, crypto people. Crypto bros, as they call them. You got to go through Reggie to operate any of his technology. Talk about a monkey wrench in the middle of the world, the crypto world. All the crypto guys, oh, this is so great. The financial system, we're going to get our XRP in there. It's like, bullshit. It's complete bullshit. If you have crypto, you absolutely better have a little bit of veritasium as an insurance policy, in my opinion. But a lot of things have to happen for that for Cliff's data to be fulfilled. In Cliff's data, he had veritasium would go higher than Bitcoin. Back then, everybody's like, that's ridiculous. That can't happen. Now you're looking at it, holy shit. If they uphold these patents, which they just granted to Reggie in the last few years, if they uphold these patents, of course, veritasium is going to be more valuable than Bitcoin. I mean, Reggie's going to veritize the world, as I used to say. Can you imagine holding the patent on securitization of assets, on stable coins, on all of DeFi? Nobody knows. And it's almost impossible to get. We give them away at roadrunner.com. With the subscription, we give away one. Anyway, so yeah, this is the top 5 years are all in the past 5 years. Look at this. So yeah, we're at 471 and moving, by the way, and moving. So we're getting a lot of verbal blah, blah, blah. It's such a massive month. It isn't yet. I mean, it's big for COMEX deliveries, but it's not the biggest. Biggest is over 80 million ounces. First day was 35, and I'm like, ooh, that seems a little low, but let's see what happens during the month. Because you can go in and, say someone wants, I think it's up to 20 million ounces. You can go in, buy 20 million ounces of COMEX silver and stand for delivery. It's either 10 or 20 million ounces. And then you get two buddies to do the same thing, and poof, the inventory is gone. That's kind of what's happening right now. We had our let's get right to the day. We've had our 5th delivery day of this month. And we're already at 10,000 contracts, over 10,000 contracts. That's over 50 million ounces. We started at 35. We're now over 50. Now, of course, it slows down. Who wants to hold metal longer than they have to because you pay storage costs? But we're still at about 1,000 contracts left. That's 5 million more ounces that still have to be delivered. And again, people can come in any given day and say, I want my silver. And God knows JP Morgan Chase, by rehypothecating the SLV silver, has needed a lot of silver. And whether or not that rule holds up in court, if you have a customer class action lawsuit against BlackRock and JP Morgan for rehypothecating the SLV assets. That's exactly what Caroline Pham just allowed, the rehypothecation of foreign assets. It's just, you can't make this shit up. It's crazy. All right, so where are we, Vix? Where are we? God damn it, help me. If you're feeling a little anxious about your silver because they slam it down and say, oh my God, is it going down? Is it going up? The wrong way. That's the wrong way to think about what you're doing, what's going on right here. We're on the last days of the unbagged fiat monetary system. You're not going to know the price of silver when JP Morgan goes down. Oh, by the way, when is that Epstein release coming out? Who was the banker of Epstein? JP Morgan Chase. But they weren't just the banker. Their senior management, there was over 20 of them. 14 of them went to Jeffrey Epstein's house all the time. Go to Wall Street on Parade and see what's really going on there. They were partners with Epstein. Epstein was the biggest source of big deals in all of JP Morgan Chase. He got paid the largest commissions out of any other salespeople. This is the largest bank in the world. That's how big this is. Board of directors were in partnership with Jeffrey Epstein in some of his businesses. This is not a little deal. This is not just some weird millionaire pedophile getting massages. You're being lied to over and over and over again. And the Democrats just released all these pictures about Epstein and they blacked out some names on boards and everything, and they're hoping that Trump sees, oh my God, my name may be exposed. I don't know Trump's involvement. It was a hell of a lot more than what he's saying, obviously. Back in the day, I think Trump was the one who turned in Epstein. It got out of control because of Virginia Giuffre. How do you say her name? Who was murdered because of what she did. She didn't commit suicide. She even put out a video. If I'm dead and they say I committed suicide, it's not what happened. Same with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, how do people get away with this shit? Anyway, yeah, she worked for Trump. Her dad was one of his favorite maintenance guys at Mar-a-Lago. Come on. So that's all supposed to come out in the middle of December. What happens if the largest bank in the world and the largest derivative holder in the world and the largest criminal bank in the world and the bank that owns controls all the metal for SLV, what if they go under tomorrow or when this news is announced? What if JP Morgan Chase is all over Epstein? It's basically Epstein controlled them, the entire bank. It's crazy shit, I know. Who told us? Jenny Moonstone told us this 2 years ago. She goes, silver will not be freed until the problem with the children is solved. Yes, our friend Jenny Moonstone, the tarot card reader. Say what you want about it. She nailed it again. She also said just recently that this whole problem in England is not fixed. There is no fix. There's little Band-Aids they can put on it, but there is no fix. She saw February for some reason as being a big month in silver. I'm thinking, well, right now is a big month too. All right. Sorry, I got off on a tangent. Let's talk about the deliveries. Again, we're at over 50 million ounces already. Who's taking the deliveries? Mostly JP Morgan delivering to itself and back and forth, blah, blah, blah. We've heard it all before. Again, it looks like every month so far, over 2 to 3 million ounces. I mean, every day, 2 to 3 million ounces is being delivered. And that will probably continue through the month. And how many days left in the month? Business days, I don't know, 16, 17, something like that. Times that by a couple million ounces. And all of a sudden, you're adding 30 to 50, the current 50, and we could get to 80 million ounces. Then you can let everybody say, oh my God, did you see the December deliveries? But right now, it's just high. It's not ultra high. All right. Looking at who was the shorts, it's easy to find out who the shorts are that held into December. Nobody wants to hold their shorts so they can deliver, but most of the time they have to. They have no choice because they owe the metal somewhere else. And lo and behold, there it is, Citigroup. Citigroup, the alma mater of Caroline Pham of the CFTC, had to deliver, looks like about 6 million ounces of silver. That's a painful one for them. But look what they did in October. They took delivery of the exact same amount, 1,171 contracts. This is a shell game, my friends. But they knew they had to pay it in December, so they did that. And they couldn't get it, so they're like, holy shit. We better rehypothecate SLV silver in London. This is crazy. And then RBC Capital Markets, they rarely come up even close to this. For their house account, they took 6 million ounces. There you go. Maybe that was the deal with Citibank. We don't know about what goes on behind the scenes. And then you have this massive number. Half of everything that happens is JP Morgan Chase, quote, customers. Why do you think the CFTC was talking about customer funds? Look. May post customer-owned securities purchased with customer funds with foreign brokers and foreign clearing organizations to margin foreign futures and options position. And then you look at what JP Morgan's really doing on COMEX delivery. It's all in the customer account. We're living through the greatest fraud in history. This has been going on for 180 years, and it's falling apart. That's how big it is. So when you see silver go up 20%, 10%, that's nothing. Wait for a 1-to-1 gold-silver ratio, and then the news about gold will hit the markets. That there's millions of tons of gold, not 220,000 tons that's ever been mined. Millions of tons. And you guys are going to love this. I saw it. I was like, oh my God. Those of you who follow the Road to Ruta theory or the Fed comics with Ruta looking for gold in the Grand Canyon, well, Cobblestone Canyon and all that. I've talked a lot. I've debated the amount of gold in the Grand Canyon. It wasn't much of a debate, but I tried to give him a chance, but he didn't. Never mind. So every time there's Grand Canyon news, especially when there's potential for the system shutting down, I get excited, and somebody sent me this one. Grand Canyon hotels to halt overnight stays for the foreseeable future. What would happen? What would happen if all of a sudden they tell you, you know what? There's actually millions of tons of gold in the Grand Canyon that we've been kind of saving. We've been hoarding it since the early 1900s. Woodrow Wilson locked it up after he signed the Federal Reserve Act. Would people flock to the Grand Canyon? I want some gold. There's gold all over the Grand Canyon, everywhere. That's why you can't go in any of the caves. Over 2,000 caves in the Grand Canyon. None of them, not one of them, is it legal to go into. Oh, actually, I take that back. There's one, a tourist cave, and they don't even let you go see all of it. And a lot of them are interconnected. So much more to come out on all this stuff. Really interesting here. Metals Focus. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know I give them a lot of shit because they feed the numbers to the Silver Institute, but they are, a hell of a lot better than the Silver Institute. The Silver Institute is just one guy, Mike Dorenzo, and he's a jackass. He just is. If you ever talk to him, he's just a jackass. What are you talking about? I started the Silver Eagle program. I can't tell you how many people have told me they started the Silver Eagle program. I was involved in the early days. Mike Dorenzo, Jeffrey Christian. I talked to the guy who actually did. Jack Sermon, the head of Silver Eagle Sales. Go to roadtoruta.com. I still have the interview right there on the front page. Go check it out. Anyway, will including silver as collateral be a game changer for Indian rural communities? In a major regulatory shift, the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, has amended its gold-silver loans directions for 2025, permitting loans to be secured against silver ornaments and coins alongside gold. Effective April 1st, 2026, individuals will be able to pledge silver assets to access credit through banks, non-banking financial companies, and housing finance firms under a uniform lending network. This is the interesting line. This measure could help mobilize India's vast household silver holdings, broken access to formal credit, and formally recognize silver as mainstream collateral asset. If you're in India, don't do this. Don't give the banksters the ability to easily confiscate your silver. Then again, you got to do what you got to do, right? What does it mean? It's not like they're going to take your silver in and just hold it for you while you pay your interest on whatever loan you took out. No. They're going to melt it down and stick it into the COMEX for the COMEX silver inventories. And then you come back and say, I want my silver. And, if they allow it at the time you come back, which they probably won't, but if they did, they'll give you back, the same amount of ounces, but not what you gave them pledged as collateral because they already melted down and, quote, mobilized it. Yeah, that's the world we live in. I'm excited about it. I'm talking to Sean, SGT report. We go way back, and we're going to talk about the outage at the silver data center, at the CME data center, and how it's such a small thing. I mean, everybody's, oh my God, can you believe it? I guess they weren't around in 2012 when Sean and I did this huge discussion about the vault at 55 Water Street right after they moved all the swaps, paper contract, gold and silver swaps into that vault at 55 Water Street, and then ran Hurricane Sandy right at that spot, flooded the vault. Some guy, I know who the guy is, forgot to lock the vault. You knew Hurricane Sandy was coming. This is the vault with $36 trillion in assets inside it, the most important vault on planet Earth. And he didn't lock the door when a hurricane was coming. And then they pumped it out 3 weeks later, and then they set it on fire. That interview's coming up. Go to roadtoroot.com if you want information on Hurricane Sandy. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. All right. That's what I got for you right now. Go to roadtoroot.com. We are currently giving away one Veritasium token. Again, this is not during the crash. I don't expect it to do anything until after the crash. And how are we going to restart our system if there's no JP Morgan, there's no Fidelity, there's no Charles Schwab, there's no Bank of America, there's no Citibank, there's no stock markets open. How are we going to restart that system? Securitization, that's the thing. There's no BlackRock. All these entities are heavily leveraged, heavily knee-deep in the crime system that we call the U.S. government financial system, or the Western system. That's where we are. If it happens today or tomorrow, I'd be surprised if it's that fast. If it happens in the next couple months, I wouldn't be so surprised. I do think it's going to happen before the 250-year anniversary for the United States of America. 'Cause that's freedom. That's going to be our second Independence Day. And it might take that long to get things back up and running in some kind of understandable way. So be prepared for everything all you preppers out there have been waiting for. And it might be silver that destroys, though clearly JP Morgan's flailing if they had to go rehypothecate the assets over at SLV in London. That's a big, big deal because all the, I can't tell you how many people have been telling me, Bix, you don't understand. They can't use SLV silver. It's not their silver. Well, I just read you what the CFTC counts as their silver. They just gave Caroline Pham, acting controller, gave customer-owned securities and securities purchased with customer funds with foreign brokers and clearing organizations to margin customers' foreign futures and futures options position. There you go. Rehypothecation of assets, my friends. You've seen it all, right? Anyway, go check out roadtoroot.com. We are currently giving away one Veritasium token on a paper wallet for everybody who wants to get a 1-year subscription. It's $2.99 for a year, and you get all the behind-the-scenes stuff and all the access to all the archives. And it's fun. Just do a search for whatever subject you're interested in. I've got over 1,000 articles I've written on there, so check it out. That's it. This is Big Swear. I'll talk to you later.